Welcome, everybody, to the Cardio Workshop. I'm your host, Dr. Jake Shupe, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I'm super excited about some of the things that you're going to discover about cardiovascular disease. We're going to be busting some commonly held myths, which a lot of the public thinks to be true. That's actually not. So we're going to talk about cholesterol, what you really need to know about it, how it works. We're going to be talking about statin drugs, who should be on them, who shouldn't be on them, risk factors involved there. And we've got a few just good nutrition, supplementation, lifestyle things that you need to know. There's a lot of mindset stuff here tonight. So I strongly encourage you to take some notes and be a note taker. The more that you invest into this tonight, the more that you're going to get out of it. If you've got people in your household that are there, pull them on over, sit in front of the computer together, learn some great stuff about your health. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my channel. I've got tons of great educational content on there. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube right now, if you'll comment, say hi, let us know you're here. Give us feedback, and it's just a lot more fun to engage, see who's on here along the way. And if you know somebody that really needs this, maybe they're struggling with heart disease, or they just really need it, they want to turn their life around and some great wellness and prevention things, share it with them, and we're going to have a good time. So again, thank you for joining us. Many of you that are on here right now, I get to take care of and are patients of mine and have been coming to workshops and learning things like this for a long time. Some of you might be watching from across the country right now in Texas, Wisconsin, California. I want to thank you. My wife and I, Dr. Christy, we are the owners and founders of Freedom Family Chiropractic, which is a max living health center. We're just outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. We're just in Garner, about 10 minutes from downtown Raleigh. And we are a special type of chiropractic office that delivers the 5 essentials. We've got offices all across the nation in the US, Canada, Puerto Rico, which delivers not only elite level corrective chiropractic care, but it's a healthcare delivery system with max living. So these are the 5 essentials that we teach, that we live by, how we see incredible life-changing results. Core chiropractic, nutrition, mindset. We're going to be doing a lot of mindset stuff tonight, and oxygen, exercise, and minimizing toxins. And when you focus on all 5 of these essentials, this is how we really help people reach their full God-given health potential. Some exciting stuff. Well, last year it was a great year for heart disease to continue to get worse. Basically, there was a lot of people quarantined, not going to work, not having social activities, not working out as much, eating more fast food, eating more processed food, being more stressed out, living in more fear. And this is just a disastrous formula for the already leading killer in our country, which is heart disease, which almost 660,000 people die from every single year is from heart disease. And there's not a lot of argument about that. It's been like that for decades now. There's not a lot of argument of hey, are they not tracking this properly? Are they fudging the numbers? Are these statistics incorrect? No, like 1 in 4 deaths of all the things that you can die from, 1 in 4 deaths is from heart disease. Every 36 seconds, somebody in our country, in the US, dead from heart disease. Just in our hour together tonight, over 100 people will have died from heart disease. So this is something that impacts many people. You probably know somebody, you might be one of them, or have somebody close to you that has either died from heart disease or might be struggling with it right now. And so That's why we're doing something about it. That's why we're talking about this important topic tonight. Get this, along with that, so I mentioned how last year really was a different year. Studies show that in 2020, 65% of Americans took time off from their workout routines during quarantine. Well, the reason I laugh is because 40% of Americans already have no exercise levels whatsoever. So when you're saying 65% of the 60% were not working out or took time off, that's very few people moving their bodies, which is why now is an important time to really, really talk about this. So how does the future look? If it continues on this trajectory, then it is staggeringly bad. Get this, the American Heart Association estimates within 10 years that 40% of all of our population will have cardiovascular disease. Like, that is unbelievable. And so it's going to affect us so much that right now it's going to triple the healthcare costs involved, from 272 to over $818 billion. And I don't know if you're just thinking about the health of our nation, but if it continues like this, literally, it is not sustainable. An economic, financial collapse is waiting because our people are getting so sick. And I say all that stuff to bring context. I'm not here to, just dredge up all the bad stuff, but we got to realize that this is a really big deal. The good news is that you can start making a difference in your own life and in your family's life and really gain some ground. And there is a lot of hope because there's a lot that you can do about it. And the heart of what we believe, especially as chiropractors, is that the body has an amazing and innate intelligence inside of you. So there's 33 chiropractic principles. I'm going to read principle number 25 because this is really fitting. It says, the forces of innate intelligence never injure or destroy the structures in which they work. So this is that innate intelligence, that God-given power inside of your body that's always doing the right thing at the right time. It's never seeking to hurt you. It's never adapting to try to harm you. It's always trying to help you survive. It's this survival mechanism that's inborn inside of you. And this has regenerative power that you can heal from heart disease if you have it. And thankfully, you can definitely prevent it from ever getting it in the first place. And for those of you guys who like cool facts, there are these cells inside of your body. They're called epithelial progenitor cells, or EPCs. And in times of low oxygen, hypoxia, and ischemia, these cells, they literally travel through your bloodstream and they're able to cause new blood vessel formation. So that's just another sign of this amazing wisdom of your body working for you. Even if you've messed it up a bunch, if you've got breath in your lungs today, there's a chance that you can heal and get better and still have an amazing life. You can heal the blood vessels. You can repair them. Your body has great healing power. In fact, I want to share this story right here because this is a special lady who just a couple of weeks ago, we took this picture. So if you're looking for inspiration, look no further. She comes in about 4 months ago. She has pain and probably thought that she was getting a back pain doctor. Well, she got a lot more than that. This is Natalie. And when she came in, she started she realized this was a lot bigger than just chiropractic care, but she starts doing all of her corrective adjustments. She's doing her spinal exercises. She starts doing the Max T3 workout program that we gave her. She comes to the nutrition class. She starts taking high quality supplementation. And literally in less than 3 months, here she is. She's slam dunking her blood pressure medication, slam dunking her cholesterol medication. We're celebrating. She's now so much healthier. Not only is her pain getting better, but she's off of her medications as well. which is awesome. So if she can do it, there's a lot of people just like you. You can do it. It might not happen in medical offices a lot across the nation, but in Max Living offices, we see this type of thing happen every single week. So keep up the good work, Natalie. You're helping change a lot of lives around the world right now. So let's talk about heart disease. Well, heart disease are more appropriately called cardiovascular disease. It happens because of plaquing or arterial plaquing inside of the blood vessels. And when this happens, it narrows the blood vessel, causing the heart to work harder, and they become rigid, they become stiff, and this increases your likelihood of having a heart attack or a stroke. Well, what causes this arterial plaque and what causes this to happen? So we're going to take a look at cholesterol right now, and we're going to break this down, and we're going to bust a couple of myths here today. So we've got our HDL cholesterol and our LDL cholesterols. And before I move on, I'm going to make this point really clear. We have got to stop calling this good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. That's inappropriate language. It just suits the narrative that cholesterol is bad and that there's a good one and there's a bad one. Nope. There's no such thing as a good and bad cholesterol. There's only necessary cholesterol. In fact, the one that gets labeled bad, which is the LDLs, your body needs more of that. If you look at the lipid panels, your LDLs are always higher than your HDLs, like almost always higher. Your HDLs are going to be in a lower amount, but they are always calling it bad cholesterol as the LDLs. That's not the case. They both have super necessary functions. Like your LDLs, they carry cholesterol back and forth to different areas that need healing, that need repair, that need the cholesterol. HDLs carry it as well. So there's no bad cholesterol. I just really wanted to drive that point home. Write that down. Remember that one. There's only necessary cholesterol. So now there is some subtypes of LDLs. So if you get a lipid panel and you're really looking for a more accurate reading, you can ask your doctor for the lipid panel or the cholesterol test that has the 4 subtypes of the LDL. That's going to give you a better reading of if you're at higher risk. I'm going to give you a little tidbit here. There's a specific there's a specific LDL, and one of the 4 types called SD-LDLs, which is the small dense LDLs. Those are the ones that have the highest likelihood to cause arterial plaquing. Again, they're not bad, but when you damage the body and cause inflammation, those ones tend to rise and cause more plaquing. And when we look at cholesterol, one of the big questions that I wanted to make sure I hit here was, well, like, what is the purpose of it? Well, the purpose of cholesterol, it is a healing and repairing substance. Like, you need cholesterol to repair tissues. You need it. It's an antioxidant. You need it to make hormones, like all your sex hormones, including testosterone, estrogen, of course, and then also you've got cortisol hormones. All these super important hormones you need cholesterol for. So cholesterol is not bad. It's necessary. Another thing about cholesterol is that you've got to ask yourself, why is my cholesterol actually raising? Well, it's because of what your people are doing to their bodies. And we'll get into some of that a little bit more, but it's because there's something that needs to be repaired. If there's something that's damaged and you're causing more and more damage to your body, your body's so smart. Remember that innate intelligence. It's so smart that it's going to elevate your cholesterol levels because it needs more healing and more repairing. So you've got to ask yourself, what damage am I doing to my body right now so that I don't need so much healing and repairing, and that this can come down into a healthier level? I hope that makes sense. Another thing we need to understand about cholesterol is that the foods that we eat, the foods that we take in, has a really small impact on our overall cholesterol levels. 80% of it is made by your body. 80% of it's made in the liver. Only 20% of your total cholesterol levels actually comes from the food that you're eating. So a lot of people think, oh yeah, don't eat cholesterol, or don't eat animal products because then your cholesterol levels are going to shoot through the roof. Well, that's not how it works exactly. It doesn't make that big of a difference. What really matters is what damage are you doing to your body? Because if you look on the right side of the screen here, it says 25% of your cholesterol in your body is found in your brain. Like, that's how important it is to your brain function. So if you are trying to just always have the lowest cholesterol possible, is that really going to be good for your brain? No. Look at this. Low levels of cholesterol have been linked to Alzheimer's, depression, memory loss, stroke, violent behavior, suicide. We need cholesterol. So I'm going to share the truth about cholesterol right now. So the myth is this. The myth is that when you eat saturated fats and you eat lots of cholesterol, that it raises your LDLs and it causes heart disease. That's what causes arterial plaquing. Is cholesterol causes heart disease, right? Wrong. The truth is that it is the oxidation of cholesterol that causes heart disease. So if you're on here, if you're listening to this, write that one down. Remember that one. Tell your friends about it. Talk about it at the dinner table. Like, when you understand this point, then you understand more about cardiovascular disease and more about how arterial plaquing happens than 98% of the population. So it's the oxidation of cholesterol. I was just reading a research article, and I was going to print it off for this, but I didn't. So if you want the reference later, I can give it to you. But literally it said native LDLs. So that means these cholesterols, the native LDLs in their native state have no atherogenic effects. So that means if you don't mess with them, then they don't clog your arteries, essentially. So doing deductive reasoning, then you're going to be asking yourself, okay, so if it's the oxidation of cholesterol, Dr. Jake, then what oxidizes the cholesterol? Okay, great question. Here's where it gets practical. Here's where you can actually change. It's not just head knowledge. Here's where it actually changes your lifestyle right here. What things oxidize cholesterol? There's three main things. Number one, sugar. Sugar oxidizes cholesterol. Number two, damaged fats. Not all fats, damaged fats. And number three, toxins. Sugars, damaged fats, and toxins are some main three things that are going to oxidize cholesterol. So those are the things that you've really got to avoid, because when you consume more of those, that's going to oxidize the cholesterol, cause the cholesterol to raise, because it's causing damage to the body. Those are the things that are damaging the body. It's going to elevate cholesterol, which is going to cause more plaquing. So remember that one. Now, we're going to talk about statin drugs. So we looked at this scenario a little bit, but so somebody, their cholesterol is high, right? You've got high cholesterol, and then But why is the cholesterol high? Again, it's because they're damaging their body, they're eating tons of sugar, they're eating damaged fats, they're eating toxins, they're stressed out of their mind. And so the body is like, man, we need to heal. We need to send more cholesterol now. So it raises the cholesterol levels, right? That's a good thing. Healing is a good thing, right? But then man, so smart, he's so intelligent that he says, oh, cholesterol, that's the bad guy. It's not the sugar or the damaged fats, it's the bad guy. It's got to be the cholesterol, right? So let's take a drug that's going to forcefully lower my cholesterol and my healing capacity. So now I'm still eating sugars, damaged fats, and toxins right here. And now I forcefully lower my healing capacity. Are you going to be healthier or sicker? You're going to be hands down sicker every single time because you're still damaging your body. You've completely weakened your healing capacity by lowering the cholesterol. More people die, get this, more people die with normal cholesterol on statin drugs than they do if they would have just left it high, because at least if they're still damaging their body, they're still going to have a better healing capacity because they have higher cholesterol to heal the tissues. So literally the worst thing that you can do is go on a cholesterol lowering medication. Let's look a little bit further into this. This I'm going to read from the Solution to the Dangers of Modern Nutrition. This is written by Dr. B.J. Hardick and Kimberly Roberto a few years back. Listen to this. We're talking now about people who should be on cholesterol lowering statin drugs and who shouldn't be on them. So, because 35 million Americans are on statins right now, and 48% of people over 75 are on them. So half of people 75 and older are on these things. But get this. Listen to this. For many people, cholesterol drugs, this is from, just so you know, this is from January 17th, 2008, cover story. So like the head story from the Business Week, and the sources are in that magazine. This is a quote from it. It says, for many people, cholesterol drugs may not do any good. For the majority of patients who don't have heart disease, there is no benefit. For people over the age of 65, no matter how much the cholesterol declines, there are no benefits. And there is no benefit in women of any age. The way our healthcare system runs, it's not based on data. It's based on what makes money. That is unbelievable. So listen to this. If you're a woman, no benefit of any age. If you're over 65, no benefit. That literally wipes out millions of people overnight off of these cholesterol medications. The only group that's ever been able to show even a small portion of benefit is one group. Do you want to know that group? Of course you do. It's men aged 40 to 65 who have already had at least one heart attack. That's the only group. The only group that ever showed a benefit, and it's not a very large one either. So if you're a woman, no benefit. Over 65, no benefit. If you haven't had at least one heart attack of any sex, no benefit. That would literally plummet the amount of people. That would really, really upset the pharmaceutical industry tomorrow if people took action on knowing that. And here's the thing too, is that you're the doctor. Your medical doctor, or whatever doctor that you see, whether it's me, a chiropractor, a naturopath, a DO, a medical doctor, whoever you see, you're the doctor. We just teach you stuff, and you get to decide if that's right for you. You know, doctors are not God. They don't decide things for you. I hear people all the time, well, my doctor made me do it. No, you get to decide what you want to do with your health. You're the only one who can really put yourself on a medication or take yourself off a medication and really understand what's best for you. So hopefully you guys got something good out of that, because that stuff right there fires me up, because I know how impactful that can be for many people. And if that's not enough to give you some insight on statin drugs, let's look at some of the side effects. Side effects, we'll start with the common ones. Headache, difficulty sleeping, muscle aches, muscle weakness, drowsiness, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramping and pain, diarrhea, constipation, rash, low blood platelets. And then you've got nausea, hair loss. I have patients on statin drugs that have been losing hair before. That's always not a fun one. Pins and needles sensation. Then they get more serious. Liver inflammation, pancreas inflammation with stomach pain, skin problems, sexual problems such as erectile dysfunction. Nobody wants that. Low sex drive. And then they get even more serious. Myositis, which is inflammation of the muscles, which risks injury to the heart. Remember, we're talking about heart disease. Elevated CPK, which is creatine kinase. And this just indicates high levels of inflammation in the body. And then rhabdomyolysis as another one. I've also seen big effects with memory and cognitive function. Remember, 25% of the brain is cholesterol. You start lowering your overall cholesterol, you're lowering your brain function and cognitive function. So most people don't really read, look at, or have really had it fully explained to them all the risk factors. When you look at the very small benefit in only one group of people, and you look at the proven track record and the risks involved, I think many people would make a different decision on if they're on these things. You just got to know. A lot of people just don't know. Now, recovering from statins. So let's say you've just gotten off them, or if you're on them right now, every medical doctor that prescribes a statin drug should, I believe they're required to recommend a CoQ10 supplement. And that's because CoQ10 gets depleted by statin drugs, and it's an important enzyme that helps with muscle energy production. Again, your heart's an important muscle, and muscle weakness is a bad side effect of statins. So you need to make sure you are supplementing with CoQ10. If you're still on one, or you've been recovering, getting off one in the last 6 months, you really need to be taking a CoQ10 supplement. Unless you have another medication that contradicts that, but most people need to be. Another thing that I just learned this recently, vitamin D3 has some other protective benefits. So your vitamin D levels are an important supplement or important vitamin that also decreases muscle-related adverse effects from statin drugs, along with the fact that most Americans just don't get enough vitamin D3. It helps your immune system, helps your bones, helps a lot of different areas of your body. And most people are deficient. You need to get it from the sun. And also most people aren't outside enough and get enough sunlight. There's not really a ton of foods that are high on vitamin D, which is why it's one of the most important ones to be supplementing with. So anything that I talk about supplement-wise, if you're wondering where to get this stuff, if you're a patient, you can always pick it up in the office or have us order it. If you're watching across the country or you just want to go online, you go to freedomfamilychiro.com, go to the top right corner, you click on store, and then all of our supplements and supplement bundles are on there with the Max Living products. So you can go to the website and pick those up if you need those. All right, some cholesterol supporting nutrients. So a few things on here that I want to hit. Plant sterols, curcumin, red yeast rice, and CoQ10. We talked about CoQ10 a little bit already. These are all ones that have been shown to really help cholesterol. The one that I want to highlight is curcumin. It comes from, that is a substance that comes from turmeric. You see the picture here of turmeric. And turmeric extract, I love it. It's something that I take every single day because it's such a powerful anti-inflammatory. And heart disease is an it's caused by inflammation. Like a lot of degenerative diseases are, too much inflammation. The inflammation is what causes cholesterol levels to have to rise. And therefore, if you are able to reduce the inflammation, you can keep cholesterol in check more. So I think turmeric or curcumin is a super powerful one that can help you not only with heart disease, but it can really help reduce, pain levels and systemic inflammation. Again, Max Living has a great one. It's called curcumin C3. This is a substance that I take regularly because of it. Okay, let's talk about some foods, mainly fats. We talked about the 3 things that damage, that oxidize cholesterol. We talked, one of them was sugars, the second one was damaged fats, and the third was toxins. Well, we'll talk a little bit about the second one here, because damaged fats, or just fats in general, especially animal fats, are like, oh, if you eat animal fats, and you're going to get high cholesterol and you're going to get heart disease. No, it's not the fat, it's the type of fat. So what are the damaged fats? Well, here's some damaged fats that you want to avoid. Hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils. These are damaged fats, like canola oil, corn oil, vegetable oils. Those are like some of the worst. Soybean, corn, canola, or anything labeled vegetable oil, these are rancid fats. These are unhealthy oils. These are the fats that are going to oxidize cholesterol and cause arterial plaquing. So you need to avoid those. Now, why do people talk about the animal products? Well, it's because, especially if you're eating like, red meat or beef, like avoid that because it's going to cause high cholesterol, right? It's not that red meat is bad. It's that most commercial red beef is terrible. So you want to get organic grass-fed beef. This has amazing health benefits to it. So organic grass-fed beef, that's not going to be damaged fats. Those are going to be healthy fats in there, and it's going to actually help you. Also, let's talk a little bit about the whole saturated and unsaturated fat conversation, because something that's gotten a really bad rap over the years is coconut oil. And coconut oil in the right state is one of the healthiest fats that you can consume. Well, the studies that they showed that, because coconut oil is like 90% saturated fat, and they're like, oh, avoid the saturated fats, that's bad. Well, all the studies that showed that coconut oil was bad is because they used hydrogenated. Basically, they messed up the coconut oil by hydrogenating it, and then they told everybody that it's toxic for you. So what you're going to look for is organic, unrefined coconut oil. Organic, unrefined coconut oil. Smells rich like coconut aroma. Wonderful. One of the healthiest fats, full of medium chain fatty acids. Your heart loves it. And just because, even though it's high in saturated fat, it is not going to cause the oxidation of cholesterol. So some other good ones, organic avocado oil are good healthy fats. Organic pasture raised grass-fed butter. I love butter. I eat a lot of butter and a lot of coconut oil and a lot of olive oil. Now that's a monosaturated, polysaturated fat is your olive oil, which nobody ever argues that that's bad for you, because let's face it, you need both. You need the saturated and unsaturated fats. just like you need the HDLs and the LDLs. You need both of them. So those are the ones I would load up on. Load up on your olive oil, coconut, grass-fed butter, avocado oil. And then, of course, just regular foods like nuts and seeds have good fats in them. Avocados themselves, wild-caught Alaskan fish. These are going to be your healthy fats, but avoid the damaged fats. Again, the damaged fats are going to be vegetable oil, corn oil, canola oil, soybean oil. There's a couple other ones, but those are the big ones. And anything that's hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated or says trans fat, remember those, avoid those because those are damaged fats. Those babies are going to lead to arterial plaquing and heart disease. So that's kind of like fire hose nutrition on fats right there. Another thing I wanted to mention about fats is omega-3 fatty acids, because omega-3s are super anti-inflammatory. And research shows that eating omega-3s and high-quality omega supplementation is going to bring down the inflammation levels. Remember, you want to do everything with heart disease or any cardiovascular disease. One of the big goals is reduce inflammation, because that's going to prevent cholesterol from skyrocketing through the roof. And Max Living has 2 omega supplements now. One of them is called Max Omega, which is just straight omega-3s. And then the other one is Optimal Omega, which has the omega-6 to omega-3s in the correct ratio. Both great supplements. If you're looking for a very pure, quality processed oil or omega-3 oils, there's 2 of them on there. You can go to freedomfamilychiro.com. Again, click on the store. All your supplement needs you can get straight from the website. Again, of course, if you're a patient, you come in, pick those up. Probably one of our top selling supplements are the omega supplements. All right, some other raw materials, nutrients from food. Just a couple that I want to mention right now is going to be, and this is really cool. I think it's really cool. So beets, also, so beets, garlic, and pomegranate. That's what I was looking for. Beets. Uh-oh, what am I doing on my screen here? There we go. Beets, garlic, and pomegranates have compounds that are not only anti-inflammatory, but they also stimulate the production of something called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide, one of the things that's so cool about it is it causes the relaxation of blood vessels. So if you've got cardiovascular disease and your blood vessels are like clenched down and you got plaquing in there, or you have high blood pressure and your heart's trying to pump them through these tight blood vessels, do you think anything that's going to relax them is going to be good for you? You bet it is. And that's why some of these foods or supplementing with nitric oxide is going to be super important and helping increase blood flow through the blood vessels and help possibly even lower high blood pressure. So wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was pretty cool. Again, that was beets, pomegranates, and garlic. Has some super powerful anti-inflammatory and nitric oxide stimulating benefits. So shared about that. All right, let's talk a little bit about high blood pressure. One of the big things, there's so much to talk about with high blood pressure. So one of the things that is a problem with blood pressure is that a lot of times just the diagnosis of it itself is disturbing. Because what happens is, here's a scenario, it happens a lot in our country. Millions of Americans are on high blood pressure medications that shouldn't be. It's because they go to the doctor, they have a checkup, the doctor takes the blood pressure is high, and the doctor goes, oh, I'm concerned about your blood pressure. I'm recommending that you get a blood pressure medication. They literally write a prescription. They go home. That person goes, oh, okay, I guess it's high. Not really knowing a lot better half the time, and then they literally go home with a prescription that day, or go pick it up that day. It's like that unfortunately happens, but that is not a smart way to do it, because your blood pressure is supposed to fluctuate throughout the day. You have got to get multiple readings, averages of readings, look at your pulse pressure. It takes some analysis to truly understand if a person has high blood pressure. You can't just track a blood pressure reading from 6 months ago, and then one 6 months ago, and then one a year from there. Because you ever heard of white coat syndrome? Well, it's a real thing. People go to the doctor, they get nervous, they get freaked out, or they were stressed, they didn't sleep. Who knows? Maybe they were dehydrated. All these things can play into when they get that one reading. So here's what I recommend. If you really want to know and get a better understanding, is they have these home units now. You can do it in your home. You get a home unit. You take your blood pressure at the same time every day. Like I recommend, like first thing in the morning, right? Or if you want to be even more in depth, you could do it at like 3 times in the day. So like morning, noon, and night, same time of the day for like a week to 2 weeks. You take all your numbers, and then you get averages, and you look at the trends there, and you'll be able, when you get an average of it over several readings, then you're going to really actually understand, do I actually have high blood pressure issues, or do I not? So that's what I recommend, how to take it. And if you're a patient of mine, I just told somebody yesterday, I said, hey, I want 7 days of readings, bring them to me. I'll give you some insight. I'll give you some feedback on it. And so people do that quite often. I'll look at them for you. It's one easy way that people know really what's going on. Also, along with blood pressure, the guidelines have been changed multiple times. And now this is my opinion, but I'm not a fan of the guidelines. In 2017, they were changed. They were updated again. Now, they used to be more lax, and I couldn't find the exact charts to show you the comparisons. But now, if you technically have 120/80, right on the dot, 120/80, your systolic to your diastolic, technically that's actually considered elevated blood pressure now. It has to be under 120/80. And then 120 to 129, and then 80. So 120 to 129 systolic, now that's elevated. Where it's like, man, they've literally chomped down and they've put these labels on them to now, because of that, more people are freaked out about it. More people are getting put on blood pressure medications. And one of the big things is, it's not so much the systolic diastolic number. Yeah, that is important. But really, one of the bigger, possibly better indicators is the pulse pressure. Here's why. So just to tell you what pulse pressure is, that's going to be, you take the systolic number, you subtract it from your diastolic number. So like, let's say you're 120/80. 120 minus 80, you're going to get a pulse pressure of 40. Between 40 and 60 is a normal range. Anything above 60, that's concerning. That's a wide pulse pressure range. You don't want that. So anything between 40 to 60 is normal. Well, if you look at pulse pressure, that what that does is it gives you an indication of how much strain you're really putting on your heart. How much strain is the heart having? How much strain is on the blood vessels? It's a better reading, because let's say you had a 130, which would be stage 1, which they would definitely put you on blood pressure medication for if they could. If you had 130/85, or even if it was 140/90, like that would be a place where I see people get put on blood pressure medications all the time, but 140/90, that's a 50 pulse pressure. That's right in the middle of a normal pulse pressure. So yeah, maybe you take a look at it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a medication scenario. So I think that's an important thing to understand, is looking at the pulse pressure. And then when you get your blood pressure readings, get a longer average and you get a better understanding. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. All right. So we've talked, we've given you some real head knowledge, and we're going to talk about hey, what are some things that I can really do to change my situation right now? Well, the foods that you're eating, that's a big one. Eliminate sugars, damaged fats, and toxins. We've looked at supplementation. There's some great supplementation, omega supplements, vitamin D3. If you're on a statin, definitely a CoQ10. Omega-3 fatty acids, supplementing with those to reduce inflammation. Curcumin, turmeric. These are all great ones. Also, inactivity or sedentary lifestyle is also, it completely weakens the heart. You see, we have a genetic requirement for exercise on a daily basis. Our bodies are designed, they're made to move. And so there's a lot of different types of exercise. If you're not exercising and moving, your heart's not working, it gets weak, it can't pump the blood through the arteries and get to all the different areas of the body that it needs. So literally your body isn't getting oxygen and nutrients the way that it needs to. And because you're not moving enough, you're gaining more weight. And it's just this vicious cycle that leads to more cardiovascular disease. So the question on here, it says, what is the best type of exercise? Or what type is the best? Well, my answer is this: the one you do consistently. Now, we're going to talk about a specific type of exercise today called HIIT training, or high intensity short duration training, like our max T3 workouts. But it's not just about one type of exercise. It's about moving your body regularly, something that you can get yourself to do that you enjoy enough, or you can force yourself to do enough so that you can stay healthy. And sometimes for a lot of you right now, it might just be walking. Like just walking 45 minutes a day there's so many studies that literally show people that prevent degenerative illness by just walking for 40 minutes a day. We're not even talking about crazy, intense workouts or anything. So maybe some of you just need to start there. However, if you're there, or if you're moving a lot, don't stop there, because higher level of fitness has great benefits. Some of you might like to run. Some of you might like to lift weights. Whatever you like to do, I'm a firm believer that everybody should be incorporating at least some amounts of this high intensity interval training. Here's why. They're short. They fit into a lot of people's lifestyle, because, with how busy so many people are, that there's almost no excuses. These workouts, they take like 12 to 14 minutes to do. And not only are they convenient because they don't take very much time, the type of exercise, it balances your hormones, or it positively affects your hormones. And you see, weight loss, the key to weight loss is hormones. So by working at a high intensity and the short duration, it helps your testosterone levels, it helps your human growth hormone, it keeps your cortisol levels low, and of course it's going to really help your heart rate. It's going to help your circulation. So this is something that we do in my office. We do a free workout with our patients every single month, one Saturday a month at 8 o'clock. So if you're a patient, you can sign up at our events table in the office. We love having people come to that workout. Or you have the Max T3 program. Many of you already have it. You just need to log in. You just need to get your access code that we gave you and start doing the workouts. There's like 25 different workouts on there. Or if you're watching this across the country, you can go to maxt3.com. You can, if you're looking for a new workout program, there's a great one on there. It's maxt3.com. But regardless, you've got to be moving your body on a regular basis. All right, let's talk about the nervous system. So how does chiropractic impact cardiovascular disease and the heart? Well, check this out. This is so cool. This is a quote from Dr. Thomas Cowan, super prestigious. Not even going to list off all the things that he's known for, but super prestigious medical doctor. He's written this book. He's on this committee. He's part of this organization. He founded this foundation. And this is his quote. Most heart attacks are likely caused by an imbalance in your central nervous system and your autonomic nerve system, which controls the function of our internal organs. What heart attacks? How many heart attacks? Most heart attacks. That's a pretty bold statement, Dr. Cowan. So most heart attacks. Well, if you think that's a little out there, I've got some more supporting evidence. This is from Dr. Paul Sherwood. So he's a medical doctor. He's a cardiologist. This is from the American Journal of Acupuncture, 1984. So they figured this out a while ago. It says, heart attacks are often caused by a spasm of the coronary artery triggered by malfunction of nerves in the spinal column. Wow. Basically, that's just a little bit more of an explanation than the quote from Dr. Cowan before. So our nervous system and therefore our spines play a huge impact on our overall heart functioning, cardiovascular disease, and then, of course, the entire rest of our bodies. The nervous system, it controls and coordinates every single organ, every single cell, every tissue in the body. So how does the spine come in? Well, the spine, it surrounds and protects all the spinal nerves. And when you look at your spine, from the front view, it has to be straight. From the side view, you can see on this chart here, the side, it has these three proper curves, one in your neck, one in your mid back, one in your lower back. And when your spine is lined up and if it's in its proper position, and it's able to move freely and easily, that's when your brain's able to send messages down your spinal cord, out the nerves, to heal your body as close to 100% as possible. So if your spine was subluxated, meaning misaligned, interfering with the nerves going to your heart, how well would your heart function? Not well. But it's not just heart disease. If I pinched that nerve that went to your lungs, what could that cause? Breathing issues, COPD, bronchitis, decreased healing to the organs, literally from your spine being misaligned. And another thing that shows is that when your spine is subluxated, when you have subluxation, it affects your brain function, because this is literally your brain to body connection. So one of the big purposes of chiropractic care is to not just get people out of pain. Yeah, that's just a great side effect oftentimes of chiropractic care, is people feel better. But the ideal is to get the brain connected and communicating with the body, the organs, the cells, the tissues, the way that it needs to for overall body optimal function, which is pretty cool. So if you're a patient in our office right now, I'm hoping that you can see, or you're starting to see, or you're just remembering these things, that it's so much bigger than just pain. And this is helping you live a healthy lifestyle for years and years and years and years. And not just the chiropractic adjustments, but also your spinal exercises that play a big role in it. So your neck tractions, your wobble cushion exercises, the wedges, the rolls, the weighting exercises that you do, that all plays a critical component to literally helping you help your heart function better, your breathing, and the rest of your body. So remember these things as you're, making your visits, as you're doing your home care. And this is one of the reasons why you may have heard that, once you go to a chiropractor, you have to keep going. And I think that's like one of the most hilarious things. It's like, no, you don't have to keep going. Like nobody's making you. But when you learn how amazing this is and all the things that it does for your health, guess what? You want to keep going. Like, it's the craziest thing, because it's like, when am I gonna stop brushing my teeth? Never. When am I gonna stop eating healthy foods? When am I gonna stop exercising? Never. So when am I gonna stop taking care of my spine? When am I gonna stop doing my spinal exercises and getting adjusted? Never. I'm gonna keep getting adjusted for the rest of my life. And that's why sometimes I'll tell patients, I'll ask them, well, how long do you think I've been getting adjusted for? And now this year is the first year. I'm 35. It's the first year now that I've had more years of chiropractic care than I have had without. I've been adjusted for 18 years, and I'm going to continue to do so for the rest of my life, because I want to stay healthy. I want to function optimally. I want to be an athlete. I want to not get heart disease and cancer down the road. So this is just another, important lifestyle piece that I use along with nutrition, exercise, mindset, and the rest of the 5 essentials. So wanted to share that with you guys, because I thought those were some pretty cool statements with this cardio workshop. Last couple things that I want to show you and just finish up with. Max Living has some really awesome cardiovascular, cholesterol, blood pressure supplement bundles. These are all available on our website. If you do want to order them in the office, we can order them. Just let us know, but it might just be easier to order them online. So this one right here, the cardiovascular wellness bundle, it has the CoQ10 for anybody who is taking a statin drug, who needs to be on one of those, or they're just recovering from it. Also the garlic and parsley oil blend, because garlic is a powerful anti-inflammatory. Again, remember, garlic also has some of the nitric oxide benefits that I believe are also in the oil as well. So this is one of the bundles. They have a couple other ones. The cholesterol balance, which features the turmeric extract with curcumin C3, again, the plant sterols, the red yeast rice. Then the high blood pressure and the blood vessel bundles, they both highlight the nitric oxide support supplement, and you can look through what the rest of them do on there. But I wanted you guys to know about them. Some patients who've been coming for a long time don't even know that these specific bundles exist. Again, you can go to here, go to freedomfamilychiro.com, click on store. Everything that I talked about tonight is on there. Even if you are watching across the country, you can order there. They'll ship it right to your house and take care of it. And these could be some great resources for a lot of you guys. I hope tonight that you really are starting to see, that you've got to continually educate yourself. And you can't just take the mantra from the public when it comes to your health. You are responsible, and I want every single person to become a lifelong learner when it comes to their health. And the dangerous place to be is telling yourself, oh, I already know everything. I already heard that before. Because what that does is it stops you from learning. So I hope to see you guys in more of these workshops in the future. Never stop learning. I hope this was beneficial for you. If you thought so, share it with a friend. Send it on YouTube. Send them the link. Share it on Facebook. Please subscribe to my channel. God bless. I'll talk to you guys real soon.